Welcome back to the Express at Dish and Dazzle. This is a fundraiser for the BC Hospitality Foundation. There's so much food here, all kinds of wine from Argentina. There's a cocktail competition, there's live music. Awesome event. And our next story on the Express is all about the local music scene. Pretty interesting story. Despite having their lead singer detained in prison on their last tour to China, local band Behind Sapphire is heading back.
Lower Mainland-based Behind Sapphire released their debut album in 2010 with a popular music video featuring one of the stars of Twilight. All a big jump from their high school start, busking at White Rock Beach.
It was almost like super naivety, you know, like just young guys, like we were just out of high school. And so we didn't really know what to expect or what would happen. And to have the opportunity to be blessed with going on so many tours and traveling the world and that kind of thing through that record, it's been a real wonderful experience, and I think we've all grown like a ton.
Those tours included the typical run of Canadian and US dates, but also a summer 2011 trip to China, where the band attracted a lot of attention for a couple of reasons.
It was a lot of fun when we were all together and we were going on a lot of adventures and experiencing China. Like, we don't really always get to see as much as we'd like, and this time it felt like kind of we got to go be a little bit more touristy and see a bunch more stuff.
The first week and a half was brilliant. Like, it was awesome. I got to see Shanghai, I got to see Dalian. That was basically it for me. I mean, the band went on further, but I had a little bit of trouble when I got back to Shanghai.
The band made headlines back home when on September 11th, airport officials found antique ammunition in Grant's duffel bag.
Bringing in some vintage bullets from Canada soils. Probably used for World War I. Got there my military-looking bag here.
They were a souvenir from a previous tour that he'd simply forgotten about. A costly mistake.
I ended up in a prison cell for about a week, and yeah, and the band continued, Behind Sapphire continued, but it was interesting.
We had to kind of revision what we were going to do live, and so it took a lot of like me, Lindsay, and Steven sitting down together in our hotel room and just thinking like, okay, well, Grant's not here now. We've got to A, either keep going, or B, just hang out for the rest of the tour and not do anything. And we thought that would be kind of boring, so we decided to kind of rework the songs so that Lindsay could sing them, just change the key a bit and do a couple of things differently. And as we did that, we found that people actually loved it. It was so surprising for us.
Their Chinese tour wrapped up with a gig on national TV, with backup vocalist Lindsay Schoberg at the lead, and Grant recently released back on Canadian soil. But Behind Sapphire found a way to make it work.
It's the first time that we actually got to feel like the Beatles or Justin Bieber, where we were just like bombarded by people who wanted to take pictures with us or get autographs or anything like that. So it was quite an experience for us.
In the end, those positives outweighed the negatives, and they're already headed back to China this summer for round 2.
I'm going back for the spicy food. I love spicy food. In Chengdu, they have this really mean spicy dish. That's not true. I'm going for the opportunity to play music for a different crowd, different audience. The Chinese audience is wonderful. They're so loving and so kind and so receptive to our music.
From the time I was there, it was absolutely phenomenal. And from what I heard from the rest of the band when they continued, they ended up seeing a lot of beautiful provinces in China. And from our experience last time playing in China, like, it's awesome. Like, people, they have the most serious faces on, and when you want them to clap, they'll clap and they'll be involved. But as far as being able to see how much they enjoy it, you don't get to hear till afterwards, and then they'll come up and talk to you about it, and it's interesting. It's really a different dynamic for Behind Sapphire to be able to do that.
And after this hopefully incident-free tour, Behind Sapphire will return to BC in the fall for the release of their already recorded second album.
Ouch. Down the window that's gone, crashing down on you. My eyes find it hard to believe.
You can find Behind Sapphire's music and details on all of their adventures by following their Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube pages. I'm Paul McLellan in White Rock for The Express.
Behind Sapphire's second full-length album is being mastered right now and will be released later this year. You can follow along with band news online at beyondsapphire.tumblr.com. Okay, so a rather racy story for the Express, right? A local musician imprisoned overseas, even though it was for something very tame and especially unexpected. This next story, well, it's one that really is supposed to be kept behind closed doors.
Next into the den, a couple from Chilliwack, BC, with a product they hope will demonstrate how they can become #1 with their solution for #2.
The experience was fabulous. The CBC people treated me and Kim both like stars.
It's been many months of waiting, but even with the wait, it's been one of the best opportunities in 17 years. Paul and Kim Martins pitched their product on one of CBC's top-rated shows, The Dragon's Den. Paul has been involved with the Ventex system, which draws air out of the room through the flush room of a toilet since the early 90s.
Probably going to take a generation for people to understand about this product, and just like the vacuum cleaner, now every home that you buy pretty much has a built-in vacuum cleaner, and that's how we were hoping with the Ventex to go.
Despite a dip in the economy, Paul decided to move full fumes ahead with the Ventex system and bring awareness to the unpleasant odor and airborne particles it removes. After auditioning in Abbotsford, Paul and Kim hit the road. Destination, the Dragon's Den in Toronto.
You know, you get nervous, you get excited. It's like, ooh, how are they going to portray us? How am I going to look on TV? But all in all, I mean, it was a great experience, and I would do it again.
We had a great time when we were there. Everybody treated us so wonderfully. All the way down to the runners, they were just fantastic.
And although they never got offered a deal from any of the Dragons, Paul and Kim didn't let it get them down. While in Ontario, the couple took time for the honeymoon they never had.
A lot of things have really come together as meant to be. I mean, regardless of the situation. We went out there, we had a good time going out there, we enjoyed some time together.
And now that they're back in Chilliwack and their episode of The Dragon's Den has aired, Paul is pushing forward with the Ventex product, making people aware that there is an option for your toilet out there.
We have some very good, positive things in the works, and I don't want to let the hat out of the bag, but we're very excited what's to come.
Although Paul and Kim were slayed by the Dragons, they enjoyed the experience and are moving forward with their Ventex product. If you want to check it out for yourself or just get more information, log on to myventex.com. For Shaw TV in Chilliwack, I'm Tiffany Gurden. Okay, you can leave now.
Even though Paul was slayed by the Dragons, he's on the move with his product. He even has a new self-install odor removing system available. You can get more details at his website, myventex.com. You're watching The Express, and we have more from Dish and Dazzle, plus this story coming up for dessert.
A lot of them are handmade by Jaden.
Willy Wonka brings some sweet family fun to Whistler, and we have your front row seat. The Express, we are your local voice.
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Johanna Ward.
Welcome to a new you.
Don't settle for just being yourself. Be a new you in only minutes. Why be you when you can be me?
Your before photograph.
Perfect image packages. Oh, why be you when you can be me?
Step up for your after photograph.
Why let someone else decide who you should be?
Welcome back to The Express at Dish and Dazzle at the Fairmount Waterfront. This event is a fundraiser for the BC Hospitality Foundation. All kinds of chefs are here, over a dozen restaurants participating, over 80 wines from Argentina. And you know what I think pairs nicely with an Argentinian Malbec? A little bit of chocolate. So we're checking in with Nicole Fitzgerald in Whistler Village. Did you find your golden ticket yet?
Yes, I did, Johanna. Whistler Secondary School staged an incredible production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Kids are at the heart of the story, as well as the production itself.
The costumes are very impressive, especially since a lot of them are handmade by Jaden, and she put a lot of effort, and I think we're all very proud of her.
Grade 11 student Jaden Devine helps fellow schoolmate Alexa McLaughlin into her costume. It's one of many Jaden designed and sewed for Whistler Secondary School's production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at My Millennium Place.
I am a candy girl, so that's the kind of like the narrator's supposed to look like. So this is just one piece of my costume, It's just a hat with a bunch of candy on it. And then my skirt is a skirt that goes straight out and has candy all over it. I love my costume, it's really fun.
A sweet sew for an aspiring costume designer.
I love sewing. I do a lot of sewing. I just made my sister's Follow the Dar dance dress. It's always been a love of mine. The fashion industry was so stressful right now, not a very good place to go. And so costume designing is really big, in Vancouver especially, which is where I want to hopefully end up.
This is the home of Charlie Bucket.
The production was a great lesson not only in creativity, but racing the clock and stretching a budget.
And now there's only one ticket left.
To conserve money, she actually took costumes out of the costume room at the high school and reconverted them and made them into some of the costumes that you see on stage as a cost-saving technique, but she's very talented in terms of costume making.
Although Jaden has sewn for years, this was her first time designing costumes. A high school production is a wonderful opportunity for students to try something new. Track and field athlete Beverly Horler got out of her comfort zone and onto a stage.
How do you do, Mr. Gravajo? How do you do? Now, is this everything?
I didn't really have any activities at the time, and I thought, I've never done the school play. Why not try? I didn't think I was going to get the lead role. It was crazy at first. There's a lot of lines to remember, but towards the end, I was able to remember them all. And I think it's really fun being like in the whole play, and you get to see how it all comes together.
And come together it did. A perfect fit. Thanks to the dedication and hard work of these young students who are already looking forward to next year's production.
I've already been asked to do costumes next year, and I've said yes because I really enjoy it.
This is a great day for the Beauregards.
I'm hoping to get one of the lead roles again.
Ambitions, both on and off stage, have found a home in this Whistler Secondary Performing Arts program. A golden ticket for youth ready to explore a new Willy Wonka world. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV.
Little fun fact for you, 4 out of 5 of the musical numbers in the movie were written by Mr. Dahl himself. You're watching The Express, and for more things happening around the sea to sky, Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley, we've got your FYI.
Radar's Quality Assured Collisions FYI is presented by Radar's Quality Assured Collision, an ICBC Valet accredited repair facility.
The IDM Model Look of 2012's Glamour Finale show is June 7th. Over $10,000 in prizes will be awarded, including an all-expense-paid trip to China to compete in China's largest model search. Hive, the Newbies 2, running at the Chapel Arts, is bringing together 12 emerging companies, including theater, dance, and music, to create and perform a short, reflective piece. Join the World Partnership Walk, 10 a.m. Sunday, May 27th at Lumberman's Arch in Stanley Park. Help take a positive step towards ending global poverty in the developing world.
Radar's Quality Assured Collisions FYI was presented by Radar's Quality Assured Collision.
Also coming up in July, it's the annual fundraising golf tournament for the BC Hospitality Foundation, which of course this event, Dish and Dazzle, is also a fundraiser for. Now that's it for today's Express from the Fairmount Waterfront. We'd love to know what you thought of the show, so you can friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or even send us an email. I'm Johanna Ward, and I want to thank you for watching The Express, only on ShawTV.